Welcome back to the Old Barn on Ann Street, coming to you from beautiful Shelburne, Nova Scotia. Well, the dust has settled on our second annual Christmas in the Barn Market. It was a great success. Thank you to everybody who came out that day. We had about 420 people that attended the market, which is a lot when you consider the barn can only really hold about 60, 65 people at one time. So thank you to everybody who braved the cold weather and the strong winds to make it such a great success. It was really an amazing event. But it's time to get back to work as we're showing you the work we've been doing on the barn and the house next door. And we need to get back to work, and we're going to turn our attention back over to the house because this time last year we were working hard to get ready for our first tenants. It was a lot of work. So let's take a look at what we were doing this time last year. So when you get to the top of the stairs, this is what you see on the second floor landing. This wall used to be the outside wall back in the day, and then when they put the addition on the back, they put a door in here from the main house to the addition. So on the second floor, this is where when we close this up, it's going to become two separate units. And so what we got to do today is fill this with insulation on this wall. This part of the wall, the insulation is to deaden the sound between the units. And this wall, the insulation it's an outside wall because there's a corner of the house. And so we got to do all of that. Then we got to put two layers of drywall on the wall for fire protection between the two units. So this is a significant day because the main house is now becoming two units upstairs. Downstairs will be done later this week. So I thought I'd share with you just an item of interest, something I think is really cool. You find a lot of things in these old houses, old newspapers, old, pottery and stuff like that. You find a lot of old stuff, writing on the wall, markings that tell you that the wood goes all the way back to the Loyalist era, 235 years ago. But there's one of the things we discovered. We heard people talking about this, but in our house, it was cool when we finally discovered. There was a tradition way back when, 200 and some years ago, that when you built a house, for good luck, you would put a shoe inside the house, usually a child's or a baby's shoe. Now, we have found shoes in this house. There was a little baby shoe up in the attic, and in another corner of the attic, there was a pair of old leather shoes, tiny or child-sized shoes. But this one was actually in the wall. When we opened up this wall behind us, just for, some of the electrical and some of the other things that we have to do, and because it was the lath and plaster, was just old and falling out, so we needed to replace all that. Here's what we found inside there. This is really cool. This old shoe, child's shoe, inside the wall. So it's not like someone left it in the attic like the other shoes that we found that they just moved out and left it behind. This was intentionally put inside the wall, and so it's one of the cool things. Now, what they say is they put these things in here for good luck and for fertility as one of the things they do. I'm well past the fertility years, FYI, but good luck is also part of what this is for. Now, I don't build my life around the idea of luck. I think there's a lot of good things happening, and they're going to keep happening in my life. Whatever's going to happen in my life is going to happen regardless of what I do with this shoe. But the tradition says that you should always, if you find the shoe, you should always put it back in the wall. And so that's what we're going to do. We're going to put it back in the wall. Janet's going to put a little piece of her pottery in there as well, so that when people in the future find this shoe, they'll also find a piece of pottery that says 2023 on it as well. And so we're putting that in the back in this book. So 235 years ago, they built this house, put this shoe in it, and now today, when we close finally in a few days, when we close up this wall, we're going to put in some pottery as well. Cool thing. Thought you'd like to know. We found a shoe in the wall. And so Janet is here. She's going to show you what we're going to add. And it's kind of cool. And, we'll see what happens. Maybe 200 years from now, when somebody opens this wall, they'll find the same thing. So Jan, show us what we got.
So I'm a potter, and I made these little tiny fish. I put my tea bag on or whatever. And I just thought I wanted to put this back in the wall. So it's got my little maker's mark that says made in Nova Scotia. And I put my name of my pottery company, Dirt to Dishes Pottery, my name, and 2023. So we're going to leave a little piece of ourselves for people to find maybe 200 years from now. Put the little shoe in. My little shoe. My little fish.
There we go, our contribution to history. maybe it'll be here for many years to come. Now all that's left to do is to do the work and finish the wall. So here we go. I guess there are all kinds of surprises when you're working on old houses and old barns. And I love the fact there was a shoe in the wall of our house. I mean, I've often wondered, I wonder whose shoe that was. It was a baby's shoe, a child's shoe, but obviously that person has grown up a long time ago. So I wonder who that person would have been, who grown up to be. My mind races. It's kind of fun to think about those things. But it's fun to find things like that in the wall. And so we found other things in the wall too, not as small as a child's shoe. So here's a clip of something else we found in the wall that we're going to talk about next week. So behind the wall, the paneling on this wall is this thing. At first we thought it was ductwork, but it does have a handle on it to pick it up. So we don't know what it is. It could be a metal chest of some sort. So we're going to open it up and see what it is. What kind of treasures might be in there. You'll have to join us next week to find out what was in that big old box in the wall. But as for this week's episode of The Old Barn on Ann Street, that's all we got. But if you haven't yet joined our subscriber family, don't forget to click on this portrait of the barn and become a subscriber. We'd love to have you as part of the subscribers to The Old Barn on Ann Street. Until next week, have a good week.